Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to a new edition of the Sports Shop 27. I'm your host, Jermaine Coulter. To my far right, I got my co-host, my main man, KJ, Kevin Johnson. And today's special guest, we have a legend in the house. He's a former ring announcer, also sportscaster. He did it all from the top to the bottom. I think over a 30, 40-year career. He interviewed people like Vince Lombardi. He was a ring announcer for Muhammad Ali versus James Quarry out in Vegas. He also interviewed a lot of other people. We'll get into that later on today. But we just want to give a special shout out and a special thanks to the legendary commentator, announcer,
Come on with
Ted
it, man.
Dawson. What's going on, Ted?
Hey, guys. Thank you very much for inviting me on the show this evening.
Yeah, so glad to have you,
Ted. We're glad to have you on the show, man. So many memories growing up, watching some of those clips where you in there, finally get to meet you. For the people that don't know you, let them know where you're from and a little bit about your background.
Well, I grew up in a little town called Valley Center, Kansas, a little farming community. Grew up on a farm back there, driving horses to pick up hay when I was a kid. That's how old I am. I went to the University of Utah to play football. Was in pre-med school there, and campus radio station asked me to do a show for them, and I enjoyed that a lot more than I enjoyed chemistry. So I ended up becoming a sportscaster, and absolutely loved it. My first job was in Dodge City, Kansas. If you can know that, the station was right below Boot Hill, and so that was my first job. I was there for only about 9 months. Went to Reno, Nevada. Was there for 6 months. That's where I was when I did the Ali fight. For those of you who don't know, that fight, the picture you just saw, was his first fight after being suspended for 4 years. And he fought Jerry Quarry in Las Vegas, and I was the ring announcer for that. So,
yeah, nice.
So, and before Howard Cosell could get into the ring, I did an interview with him for all the fans in the stands.
Yeah, I was trying to find it. I couldn't find that one, but hey, great job, man. That's a big moment in history, in boxing history.
Yeah. And of course, in 1967, I did the post-game interviews for the first Super Bowl game in Los Angeles for CBS. So
was that where
the Vince Lombardi
Packers?
The Packers in Kansas City. Yeah. That's where the Vince Lombardi picture came in.
It's the first Super Bowl. You got me here, right here, the exclusive on Sports Shop 27. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification button. We got legends on the show tonight. Go ahead, KJ.
That's right. Well, here we go. Hey, growing up as a kid, what sport was your first love?
Well, actually, I rode horses, and I did rodeo. That's what I did as a kid. So, but then I started playing football in high school, and the football led me to my scholarship in college, and that led me to my sportscasting career.
All right.
Okay. Cool. So you say growing up in Kansas, it was big rodeo, country farmland. That's how you grew up. Kind of similar to like South Carolina, North Carolina, where we from. So talk about growing up, I guess, in your time, playing sports. You said rodeo was your first sport that you participated in, and then football. So what age did you actually started playing football?
I started as a sophomore in high school, but I was real young because I had started in school early. So I was 13. Okay. Yeah, I guess I was 13 because I graduated when I was 16 from high school. Wow. So,
okay.
Yeah.
That's good. So talk about some of your, go ahead, KJ. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was about to ask him, what position did you play in football?
I was a tight end.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
190 pounds tight end.
All right. Yeah. So back then, y'all probably didn't do too much throwing. It's just mostly blocking, right?
Did a lot of blocking, although once I got to Utah, they threw a lot to us. I followed a guy by the name of Marv Fleming, who was one of the real great names in the NFL. He went from Utah to the Green Bay Packers, and he was on that very first Super Bowl team, and he went on to Miami, and he played for many, many years. in the NFL.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
So
So yeah, we just lost one of the guys that was a big receiver. Used to play for the Colts, I believe, right? What was his name? Um, oh, the Seahawks. I forget his name. White guy, but he just passed away recently. He played in the era that you're talking about as well. I can't remember his name. He was a leading receiver.
I was the broadcaster for the very first Seahawks games.
Yeah. So how was it like talking to Lombardi back then? Let me ask that question real quick.
It was tough. He was
It was
tough.
tough?
I was 22 years old
Okay.
in 1967. No, I was 23 years old in January.
Okay.
And here was this young kid up on the stand with him. And so I asked him, my first question was, so now that you've had a chance to play against the AFL, as it's called,
Yep.
what do you think of them? What the hell kind of question is that to ask, kid? That was his response. So,
Wow. Yeah. So talk about
he
the
was tough.
atmosphere. Talk about the atmosphere of being at that Super Bowl at that time.
Well,
Very first one.
There was great atmosphere, even though the stands weren't packed. But I mean, the locker room was crowded. In fact, that's how I ended up doing it, because Pat Summerall couldn't get in the locker room. He was supposed to do the interviews for CBS, and he couldn't get in because Vince had locked the door to hold his post-game prayers and that sort of thing. Nobody could get in. So they went to a commercial. Meanwhile, Pat Summerall was interviewing Pete Rozelle. And they opened the door. Everybody went in. I was one of the first guys in. Summerall couldn't get in. And a CBS engineer just handed me the mic and said, "Kid, you're on."
Wow.
So that's how it happened.
Wow. Just on the fly.
Yeah.
A moment in history. Did you ever get to meet John Madden? God rest his soul.
Oh, yeah. John and I were very close friends. We did Monday Night Football together.
Wow.
Yeah, I loved him. He was a great guy.
Yeah, he's like the pinnacle of coach behind Lombardi when it comes to football. Like one of the most successful coaches as well. Go ahead, KJ.
And Tom Landry and I were very good friends, and I thought he was a great coach.
Yep. Rest in peace, Tom Landry, the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, what was it like working at ABC Network?
It was great. Rune Arledge was so much fun to work for because he gave you an opportunity to do all kinds of stuff. I did the like up close and personal stories. So that's the kind of stuff I did. I did that. I did play by play. So I did stories about people. So I covered like 7 Olympic Games doing those kind of stories.
That's right, man.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
No. So back then, who was like the most, I guess you could say, polarized athlete during that era when you first started?
Muhammad Ali, clearly, absolutely.
Yeah, on top.
But what a great guy! Well, I mean, he and I were neighbors for several years in Los Angeles.
Oh,
okay.
And just a sensational guy. I loved him. In fact, my son and his daughter were really good friends. A little too good, I think. I'm not sure Ali appreciated it, but they were like 6 or 7 years old at the time, and they'd go off and play together. So,
okay, cool. Yeah.
But
so, as I know as a person, he was a wonderful guy. I know he was probably the toughest or the most competitive man probably during that time. Competitive, very competitive.
Yeah.
Talk about
greatest boxer of all time. I'm sorry, I don't care what to say about these guys now. In his prime, he was the greatest fighter of all time.
His hand speeds was that fast?
Yes, absolutely.
He sting like a bee.
And remember, he had to sit out 4 years in his prime.
Right. And he still come back and retain the title. Let's go ahead and look at this clip then and go into it. This is 1972. And you guys are in Vegas. This is Jerry Quarry versus Muhammad Ali. And we got it from the top. For everybody that's watching, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification button, and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and Deezer, okay? And make sure you cop that merch at the end of the show. We'll send you the link. All right, here we go. We're going to go ahead into this video real quick. We have ring announcer Ted Dawson doing the announcing for the fight. All right, here we go.
Now here's the crowd reacting as Muhammad Ali comes down the aisle. Green robes. I haven't seen the color of his trunks yet. I think they're going to be blue. And here's George Foreman being introduced.
Oh boy, I've seen this guy fight, and I don't know. I think he's going to take out an awful lot of guys on his way to the title.
He says that Quarry's younger and fast, but doesn't have the experience that he has. He says he depends on account of a cut, as happened some 3 years or so ago.
Well, this fight is about to get underway, and I got to say that there's nothing like sitting at ringside in a fight like this. The adrenaline is flowing. It's like even though football...
Butterflies in our stomach, adrenaline flowing as we get ready for the bell for round one. Millions of dollars on the line, and here we go. And Quarry came out, and there he is. He's picking up Ali and almost throwing it out of the ring. He's trying to make the fight right off the bat. Kid Kaplan tells him to hold off. Quarry's under the midsection at the moment. He's got on the green trunks with the white stripes. That's right. Relax.
You know, Mel, it's a kind of a movement that he does that sometimes tires fighters, even though he doesn't hit them.
He can't finish second.
Quarry hit him with a good left hook to the stomach that time.
He's trying to cut the ring on Ali, who's dancing. It can possibly beat me.
Stick while you
And that's why Quarry is trying to get him into the ropes, get him into the corner. They're just above us. Now Ali dances back out. Quarry is moving with him. Ali on his toes. Now he's dancing. Now putting on the little shuffle in, a left and a right. Quarry misses with a left and a right. Look at Ali with a good combination. And that face is reddened up a little bit more, too. And there's the bell ending round one. Here's the videotape now, where in round one, daring Quarry to come at him.
He's daring to come at him, but he's got a beautiful defense, this man, Muhammad Ali. When those hands are up there like that, it's so difficult to fight. You hear him, look at that. Beautiful left, right, left by Muhammad Ali.
Come on in, he said. Look at him.
And he did hit Quarry with a beautiful right hand again. But Quarry is in there. He's in there to win and hits him with a good left hook. He hits Muhammad Ali with a good left hook.
He just rested him. Come on in, he said. All right, if you don't, I'll come after you.
He's with the hot sauce.
Well, it's that left jab.
Dingy Brown just hollered you.
That's a good left and a right by Quarry.
Good right by Ali.
He wants to win that battle, this Jerry Quarry, and so does Muhammad, as we say again and again. And there's that beautiful defense by Muhammad Ali, and it's difficult, almost impossible to get through.
You worked on a lot he's doing right now in his training. Letting fighters hit him in the corner and on the ropes. And then he suddenly would come loose, come out of that corner punching hard. Ali sees something now. I believe Quarry's weakening a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's
got him up against
bad trouble right now.
Everything he's got in his arsenal.
Yes, I noticed it turned, Mel, but it turned back. He's a very courageous guy, and that head keeps spinning back, and he comes back. He keeps coming back for more. He is not a man who's going to go down unless he is put down.
And now we're into round 6 of this 12-round non-title bout between Muhammad Ali and Jerry Quarry. With Muhammad Ali weighing at 216, the best condition he's been in years, And occasionally using what they call an emotional fighter, unless something happens to cause him to get real
He's on
angry.
Quinn Street again.
As he said, what he wants to do is to give Quarry a good whooping.
Turn him under. That's right.
Got him now.
That's it.
With his head down, he straightened it up.
That's it.
He's using that left to great
Sugar
advantage.
Ray. Come on, Mohammed. Sugar Ray on him. That's it.
Sugar Ray
That's
used
it.
Sugar Ray.
That's it.
Bodini Brown said use some Sugar Ray on him. Got him up against the ropes just above us and hitting him with everything. Quarry trying to come back.
That's it, Jerry lands a hell of a
Dances away. He's not hurt.
That's the thing that he's got to be careful of. Muhammad Ali can't leave himself open for that kind of thing. Jerry landed again. Muhammad has got to be careful. There's another left hook by Jerry Quarry. You cannot count this guy out no matter what happens. He's going to be in there fighting. He is a fighter, and he's going to fight to his last, with the last ounce of his strength. That is the thing that Muhammad Ali has realized. And that is why. That's why he's taking the tactic that he is.
About 15 seconds left in the round. Good right by Muhammad Ali. Good match. And there's the end of the bell.
Yes.
Ali's not too tired. He's breathing just a little heavier, of course. But compared to Quarry, Quarry, as you can see, is taking some deep breaths. He needs them. He's taking a lot of punches in this fight as we go into round 7 of the scheduled 12-rounder at Las Vegas, Nevada, in the convention arena. Ali now.
The referee has stopped the fight.
Stopped the fight.
Jerry wasn't able to continue.
The referee has stopped the fight.
Well,
Good luck to my friend back there in Cherry Hill, Major Coxon, who was the next mayor of Camden, New Jersey.
Muhammad, was he tougher than you thought he'd be?
Well, I thought he would be much tougher, but I realized that I was off when I first fought him. I wasn't as good as I am now, but he put up a good fight.
ladies and gentlemen,
and
as
I
always,
think he
there's
deserves
absolute bedlam in the
a
ring.
rematch after I retire Joe Frazier. I'm going to retire Joe Frazier, and I'll call him publicly to come out of retirement because he knows I'm ready. He caught me when I wasn't ready, and I'm going to eat him up this time.
How soon before you fight him?
As soon as I can get Joe Frazier, I'm ready.
Do you think you're ready for him now?
I'm ready for Joe Frazier right now.
Will you fight him this year?
Anytime he's ready, just tell him to quit ducking.
Hey guys, I had never seen that. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Sugar
That
Ray on
was
baby.
awesome.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
we're
sir.
talking 50 years ago, guys.
Hey man.
50
And it's in
years ago.
HD in color.
Color, yeah.
Wow. I had never seen that.
Yeah.
Talk about that
Oh.
moment. Talk about how you feel right now, 50 years later.
Yeah, man.
I've got
Good moment.
goosebumps. I seriously, I've got goosebumps remembering that. And all those people surrounding us, and Howard Cosell trying to get in there. And I just wanted to ask him about Joe Frazier. And as you saw, that's what I did. And it was great. It was just a great experience.
Man.
How old were you at that time?
72. So I was 28.
Wow. Young man.
28. Yeah.
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 I mean, it was
Oh.
a lot of people that you introduced coming in the ring, from Ken Norton to
Yeah.
other boxers like Joe, I forgot his name, Joe Lewis.
Oh, that's great. The Olympic boxer that Ali beat in Africa.
Was it Ernie Terrell or something like that?
Freddie Terrell was there, but who am I thinking of? The barbecue guy.
Okay. Yeah. But I saw when he walked in the ring on Ali, and Ali didn't want to shake his hand. This was like right before he fought James Curry. I was like, oh, they must be fought already before. You know, just that boxing mentality, you in the ring.
Remember, Jerry Quarry was not a bum. he was a pretty good fighter, and Ali just destroyed him. That shows how good he was.
He knocked Ali down the first fight, didn't he? Was it him?
No.
It wasn't him? Okay. I know that was part 2. It was someone that knocked him down when he first came back from the war. He just got knocked down one time. But talk about Howie Cosell a little bit.
Howard.
Yep.
I'll put it to you this way. My wife, who thought it was one of the nicest people in the world, thought Hitler was just a little misguided, and she couldn't stand Howard Cosell. So she despised him. She thought he was so negative, and he was negative. But he and I always worked well together. We did Monday Night Football together, and so
okay, all right.
Hey, talk about working in the NBA for 18 years.
Well, I did a lot of NBA games, lots of Lakers. I was in Los Angeles, so I did the Laker games, and I was there with Magic and Kareem and all those guys. That was the most fun I've ever had. I love basketball. I love the NBA, and Magic made it special. I was there the night Magic changed the NBA, and it was his first night. The Lakers were in San Diego. Magic fed Kareem. Kareem hit a sky hook to win the game at the buzzer. And Magic came running down the court. Remember Kareem? I don't know how much you guys know about Kareem, but he was very staid, very professional, very, very solid. Magic comes running down the court and jumps in his arms. I mean, literally jumps in his arms like a little kid. And that changed the whole, literally, it changed the whole focus of the NBA into guys having fun, guys having a good time. And the Lakers became Showtime, and the whole league kind of became Showtime. That was the night the NBA changed forever.
Was that the same game they played the 76ers?
It was the same year they played the 76ers, yeah. And Kareem was hurt. Magic played center in the final game and beat the 76ers, yeah.
KJ, we wasn't even born yet. That was 1980, I believe, bro. That was right before we came out. But
it was Magic's first year.
Yeah, he was a very pivotal guy in the NBA. Big influence on basketball coming up as a kid until Jordan came in the league. Yeah. But talk about I guess you can talk about.
I'll tell you another NBA story. Michael Jordan came on my show.
That's what I'm.
When he was in college, and Michael Jordan is, in my opinion, the greatest basketball player who ever played the game. So he comes on my show, and he's still in college, and he talks about how he hopes he'll be enough to have an effect in the NBA, and he's very quiet, and he doesn't know what he's going to do, and he's kind of hoping he can play for the Lakers because he'd like to play with Magic, but he doesn't really know. I mean, he's just really quiet and like nothing like what we know him to be. He was that way in college, and then, of course, came on the scene and became the greatest of all time. But it was so much fun to look back on those days to see him interview, sitting beside me on my show in Los Angeles and talking about his hopes for a career.
Wow.
I'll tell you another story about that. Dan Marino came on my show and talked about playing in the USFL. He had signed to play in the USFL, and then switched and went to the NFL and played with Miami.
Oh yeah, that's coming out of Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah. Steve Young, who coming out of BYU, was the $40 million man. And I got to know his agent, Lee Steinberg, real well, and saw that was about his deal was really for about $400,000. It was, the $40 million was if all kinds of things happened. But
I know, right?
He was the first $40 million man.
Word. So did you cover players like Marcus Dupree that went to USFL, Herschel Walker? You cover those guys too?
Yeah. In fact, Herschel and I were really good friends in Dallas once he came to the Cowboys because I was doing the Cowboys in those days.
Okay.
So,
all right. So you covered the NBA a little bit, and you had an interview with Bill Walton, right?
yeah, I did.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and segue into that clip real quick. I got
Oh,
that for
you
you,
got
too.
that, huh?
Yes, sir. So everybody
Okay.
that's watching, if you don't know, we have, a sportscaster and ring announcer Ted Dawson, legendary announcer, sportcaster, worked with Howie Cosell, John Madden, you name them, Pat Summerall from top to bottom. We're going to go ahead and get into this clip, and we're going to look at the young Bill Walton. He had his headband on. He was looking like a hippie back then, straight out of UCLA, all right?
Hey, take us back, man. Take us back.
I got you. Let's do it.
Mr. Bill Walton, now you can start and do whatever you wish to do.
Wait a second. Hello.
It all started so well for Bill Walton, a UCLA graduate, #1 draft choice, and a multi-million-dollar contract with the Portland Trail Blazers.
I'm just going to come in here and play basketball to the best of my ability, and whatever happens from there is, I guess, what you call history. I don't know.
But this is not what Walton had in mind. A cast put on his injured left foot yesterday morning by Portland Trail Blazer physician Dr. Frank Smith. The cast comes after Walton has missed 25 games this season, suffering from what was thought to be a bone spur. Now he's not too sure.
The problem has not been exactly diagnosed, just that I do have a lot of pain in my foot when I play basketball, and we just decided that I needed a lot of rest in a short period of time because it is during the season and we can't just take off. So we decided to immobilize the joint so that it could get complete rest, and hopefully it will get better.
Bill, I know you've tried acupuncture before. Will you continue to try that?
Yes, I'll continue to do a lot of things, but like at this time, it's very important to get as much rest as possible. And without the use of the cast, the joint would not be, totally immobilized, and I would, I would still be using it more than I want to right now, because I want to get it better so that I can get out there and play up to my capabilities.
Walton's capabilities, despite being only a rookie, are awesome. Even though he's missed 25 games, he's still ranked third in the league in blocked shots with 94. He's averaging 12.5 points and 12.5 rebounds a game. And until he missed 20 games in December and January, he was leading the team in assists.
Well, I'm 22 years old, and most athletes, that's a pretty young stage of their career, and I feel that way too. And I just really looking forward to next year. But if this thing comes around soon, then maybe I'll get it a few more times, this year. But I'm not saying anything definite about that. It's cast will probably be on for about 3 weeks. And,
with all the problems, with the injury, with all the bad publicity, has professional basketball been a bitter experience for you?
No. I enjoy what I do, and I enjoy the people I do it with. And it's a lot of hard work, but hard work is something that I've always enjoyed. And it's just unfortunate that I had this injury that prohibited me from playing, most of this season. And hopefully this will do the trick, and I'll be able to come back strong and have a good year next year.
For Bill Walton, the season is over. The season that was supposed to find him dominating the NBA, turning the Trailblazer franchise into a big winner, running away with Rookie of the Year honors, is over. And it all looked so good back in May. This is Ted Dawson for CBS Sports in Portland, Oregon.
They think vegetarians just basically don't eat anything.
Oh, I haven't seen that in 50 years.
Yeah, it's about to be 50 years next year.
Yeah.
So talk about Bill Walton a little bit. What type of fellow was he in his
Well,
early 20s?
he was exactly what you just saw. And
Yeah.
the interesting thing was he didn't like to talk to the press. So let me get this straight here. So,
Okay.
and I never made a big deal out of it. So anyway, he shows up for a press conference, and all did what we did. And then they went and had a practice the next day. So now everybody is there and they're all in his face, and he doesn't want to talk. And so all the newspaper guys and some of the television guys talk about what a creep he is, and he's stuck up, all this kind of stuff. And I just said, hey, he doesn't want to talk. He wants to practice, so it's no big deal. So the next day we go to practice, and he comes over to me. He says, I watched you on TV last night. I appreciate what you said. I'll talk to you. I said, hey, Bill, I appreciate that, but I'm actually here to do another story. I'll catch up with you sometime. And he thought that was the greatest thing in the world. So we became friends. And when this happened, he actually called me. It was on a Saturday. He called me and asked me to come to his house, which is another fun story. And I did that. And that gave me my intro into network sports. By doing that interview, they saw me on CBS in Los Angeles, and I got my first job in Los Angeles because of that.
Yep.
But let me tell you another interesting thing about Walton. If you know anything about him, he is a super liberal. In those days, he was a major league hippie liberal.
Yes, he was.
Hated the president of the United States. So he buys this house. I mean, we're talking, he hated Richard Nixon. Hated him. But he has this gigantic house built in Portland with cupboards that are high and sinks that are high and bathrooms that fit him and all this kind of stuff. He moves in and finds out that it's on Nixon Avenue. He had no clue. It was on Nixon Avenue.
Yeah. Walton got a lot of backlash because he was so verbal about his displeasure for Nixon's politics. And also, there was a UCLA shooting on the campus back in the 60s, right? Was that UCLA or was it another school?
No, it was Cal State Fullerton. There was a shooting.
Cal State Fullerton. Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah. So just all over the years that you've been broadcasting, what have you learned the most? And for a future broadcaster, what is your advice for them?
Learn how to tell stories. Learn how to tell interesting stories. Use video. I mean, I've done a lot of these shows, and you guys are the best. You've had great video on here, and you're excellent. I really appreciate how prepared you guys are. So you guys have a real head start. So anybody else, I would just learn as much as you can about the people you're dealing with. Mm-hmm. And also, I've been at the top of the mountain and I've been at the bottom in very small markets. And I've always treated small market sports just the same way I treated large market sports. It's just high school basketball was just as important in Bozeman, Montana, as the Lakers were in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. And I treated it both the same way. And I loved every minute of it.
Wow.
Did it for 54 years.
Wow.
Yes, sir. You did.
Man,
so after you finished broadcasting, what did you do after that?
I came to Boise. My wife is from here. And so she had followed me around. So I thought the least I could do was go back to her hometown with her. I thought, I'm going to come here and the high schools will appreciate me and they'll want me to come and help teach the Boise State University here. They'd like to have me come teach their communications department, and nobody's interested. Nobody cared less. So I just kind of hang out, and like I say, I try to improve myself. learning to play the piano this year. I'm going to the Y. I'm just trying to improve myself. I get to read as much as possible, and when my wife lets me, I get to watch TV. So
That's great. That's great.
And I get to watch those incredible NFL games last weekend.
Oh man, yeah.
The best ever. The best
three
ever.
games decided by field goals, man. It was real close. Tennessee
and the fourth and overtime.
Green Bay and Chiefs. Those games was really close. So let me ask you, what is your message to the youth right now? With all the pandemic and everything that's going on, you know, they're not going to school as much. You know, kind of hard to focus, you know, because you got so many distractions with the cell phone, you know, TikTok and all that. What is your advice for the, you know, for the youth?
Live your life. Live your life. Don't let people scare you. Get outside. Do something to improve your body. Enjoy the fresh air. Enjoy your friends. Learn as much as possible and be as good a person as you can be.
Great, great.
Yeah. You have any shout outs before we head out?
Just to you guys, I'm telling you, I'm so impressed with the way you put this show together. It was actually, you brought great memories for me.
That's good.
Thank you, Ted. That means a lot coming from you. We just started this podcast last year in February, so we're rolling up on the year.
It's the best one I've ever done. I'm telling you right now.
Wow. And that's coming from a legend.
Hey,
congratulations, man. KJ. You did it.
Congratulations, man. That's
yes, sir. Up, man. Yep. I appreciate it, Ted. That means a lot from us. Coming from two guys from small towns. We both played football together. Me and KJ graduated high school together. We're classmates.
That's right.
So that's the backstory for us. And we love to have you back on the show with all the wisdom that you shared and all the stories. We'd love to have you back on.
I'll come back with more stories.
Oh,
there
man.
we go.
Some of which are true.
My man.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
You guys
God bless.
God bless. You guys are just tuning in to another edition of the Sports Shop 27. I'm your host, Jermaine Coulter. Big shout out to my co-host, Kevin Johnson, KJ, and a special thanks to my guest tonight, legendary sports announcer, sportscaster, philanthropist, you name it, Ted Dawson. All right.
Thanks, guys.
It's good to have you on. We'll love to have you back. Appreciate it. And you enjoy the rest of your evening, sir.
Yeah.
God bless.
Say hello.
All right. You guys make sure you wear your mask, stay safe, and you guys be cool. It's not how you start, it's how you what, KJ?
It's how you finish, man. Keep going.
All right. Let's go. Let's do it. Peace out. You guys be safe.